first it starts with idea. It's like, okay, what will resonate with our audience? And it's not like one formula works every time. You need to come up with like a lot of different ideas, try different things, and then run with the one which are working well.
Welcome to UpTech Report. This is our Apply Tech series. UpTech Report is sponsored by TerraLeap. Learn how to leverage the power of video at terraleap.io. Today, I'm excited to be joined by my guest, KD Deshpande, who's based in California. He's the founder and CEO of Simplified. Welcome, KD. Good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me on.
Now, Simplified is a design platform focused on helping create, collaborate, and scale marketing efforts. So for those in marketing, and this is your whole focus is around simplifying, creating one app to rule all the marketing needs. Help me understand that what's the problem that you see from your perspective and set out to solve?
Yeah, so being in marketing industry for last decade, one thing I've seen is everybody needs marketing. And last 2 years or like last probably 24 months, when you see that TikTok video or Instagram post, we swipe left, right, or like, but you have no clue like how much effort marketing teams put together. There is an entire village behind putting that content. There are like number of hours, number of variations are put together. And existing tools are slow. It takes a lot of time. And it's time consuming. So that's where we are building Simplified to make this process efficient, collaborative, because post-COVID, the whole world is changed. So making it more collaborative. So marketers can do more with less, collaborate with their entire team, and unleash their creativity. That's what we are building at Simplified.
I love just that phrase that when you just swipe on, up, around, or whatever, and you just see it for half a second, maybe 5 seconds, you have no idea the effort that was put into it. And if anything, more content is being created than ever, or the need for it. So being able to create it faster is pretty important. I think most marketing teams get that for sure. Now, Simplified, you guys launched publicly in March, April of 2021, this year. You got started already building the platform last year. But let's just take a second, go back. And I'm curious about the journey you've been on personally that got you to this point. You've been at Uber and Facebook. Help me understand, like, what's the journey that you've been on?
Yeah, so we have to go like all the way back because I always like to draw caricatures and stuff. So always fascinated towards like good design products. And I started my career in mobile marketing or like mobile application development. Built some applications, been part of like a couple of startups, started my first company in 2011, sold that company in 2015. That's where kind of I got an exposure, like broader exposure to the whole marketing ecosystem. I started thinking like a marketer.
That was called Vessel?
Yeah, correct. So my second company was Vessel.io, which was helping mobile marketers back then. And we sold that company to Mercado, which was a publicly traded company, which later got acquired by Adobe. So I was there, got really an exposure to all the whole ecosystem of marketing. And one thing I realized over the period of time is like, we see and it's actually the social media evolution was happening along the way. So I experienced the firsthand those Facebook posts, Instagram, and all that stuff. So I was there for like few years, got expanded our product into international markets. Then I left Mercado, joined Uber. Uber is a rocket ship, and I was the part of the whole marketing tech team. Where we were spending like billions of dollars on marketing, and my job was to bring efficiency in those processes, and got an opportunity to work with like small, medium-sized restaurants as a part of Uber Eats, as well as I worked with like Fortune 500 companies, just to understand their needs and how we can help. One thing was common across the stack was, is chaos. When it comes to marketing, it takes like village. It starts with simple campaign, and like first it starts with idea. It's like, okay, what will resonate with our audience? And it's not like one formula works every time. You need to come up with like a lot of different ideas, try different things, and then run with the one which are working well, that resonating. And if you've seen like so I've seen that happening. I've seen our teams at Uber collaborating over like different tools, and it always like weeks to even to get a campaign. And when I was meeting with like the small SMB mid-market restaurants and businesses, the struggle was unreal. It was like, hey, how should I even create like this content? They were still like getting used to the fact that new modern formats are getting lighter and like super interactive. It's amazing. What do I mean by that? Like if you've seen last, let's say 4 or 5 years with Snapchat launching ephemeral stories, then Facebook launched, then TikTok, then Instagram Reels. The content which you are consuming in, let's say, 1 hour, now you try to consume that content in like 10, 15 seconds. So that's the change that happened. So that thought was lingering on my mind, and I left Uber, joined Facebook, and I was there for almost for a short period of time, and that thought was still on my mind, and I started building. Then whole pandemic thing happened, and I seen is like people are a lot more remote. The previously what used to take 4 weeks to just collaborate and launch those campaigns or creatives, it is now taking like months, or like it's taking way more. And the companies, as a CEO or as a board, I'm pushing my marketers to put more content, increase digital presence, because we don't have that physical touch point with our customers. So think about this, like you have a marketer who is a non-designer, non-creator, who've been asked to do a lot more in like that 1 month. Whatever you were supposed to do in like 6 months, you've been asked now to do it in 1 month with the tools which are not meant for these light interactive platforms. So you had no option. And in that necessity, I said, okay, I was always very close to these use cases. And in that need, I said, okay, why? I mean, we had Microsoft Paintbrush, and we have now Adobe all suite of products. They are amazing. Don't take me wrong, but we lost that simplicity along the way. We lost that ease of access, and that's where that journey of Simplified started. And when I started building, there is one thing I learned is creators are new marketers. So
what do you mean by that? Break that down for me.
Yeah. So the access to your social media or like your phone is the most powerful device you have in your pocket. It's like a supercomputer, and barrier to entry to create content is now there is almost like there is no barrier to entry. You can just create it. And if you have seen in last 12 to 18 months, so many people created like Dalgona coffee and all those stuff, and then they became famous overnight, like millions of likes. And the brands are now paying a lot more to these people, so to do influencer marketing. But these people don't have like the tools to create their plan, come up with ideas, plan their content, schedule their content, publish their content in 1/10 of time and fraction of cost. So we discovered this really the needs of today's marketers and creators, businesses are almost very, very similar.
So you're actually marketing towards creators as well with your product.
Yes, exactly. So whoever is into content creation, that's where we evolved into a vision. Was not just like, hey, why not? We are not building a product. We are building a space, so you can do more with less, collaborate together, and unleash your creativity.
So for you, leading up to then coming from Uber and already creating those relationships and seeing the need for this, and then also you were at Facebook for a short while. The launching of Simplified, was it simple? I had this idea of like, all right, I got an idea, and then investors were like, yes, take my money.
Actually, that's a very good question. So how come nobody asked me that question? I wrote somewhere, So this is not my first rodeo. This is my third company. When I was at Facebook and lingering on this idea, I thought, oh man, I can just go there, quit my job, go in a funding market, and people will be like, hey, here is KD, he's back. Let's give like millions of dollars to him. That did not happen for initial few months. It was like, but because people were still trying to understand, people were still understanding this concept of, okay, what is the one app means? Why we need one app? So when we, and coming from like these companies, our product bar is also very high. So we do not want it to, we were not here to build like MVP. So let me put it that way. Like we are at Simplified, we decided we are not building MVP, like minimal viable product. We are building minimal payable product.
Interesting. Minimal payable product. So you wanted to just start immediately with something that people will say, oh, wow, I love this. I would pay for this.
Exactly. And for that, like, it's not just like that. Minimal payable product is, if we are living in 2021, we are not in 2011 where you can just fabricate something and give it to people. People, if you've seen the consumer's behavior today, you expect certain things to be in place when you use the product. Like those are given. For example, collaboration, like basic collaboration has to be there. You will be able to invite people, proper transaction system, payment systems, ease of usage. So we said, okay, why not like first bake it? But we do not want to build this product in vacuum. So what we did is like, I started recruiting. I literally posted a few jobs on FireR in March last year and said, hey, I want to talk to you. I'll pay you. I want to talk to you if you are like creating these social media posts and stories and videos. And hardly probably 5 people showed up. I paid them to just understand like how they use it. And so we interviewed them, and then that journey started. We embarked on that journey. So every 2 weeks, we were building the product, fixing the bugs, showing it to users, listening, and then iterating, repeating. Again, we are, if you have seen at Simplified, we ship fast, we ship every 2 weeks. And this is like, if viewers, listeners wants to go to simplified.co, what's new, you will see the entire release log. So our users are used to like that pace of execution and pace of innovation. That's kind of the ritual we've been following for almost last 1.5 years. And that's where we got here. We are still early in the game. We are building. That's kind of the journey we are on.
Fantastic. This concept of minimal payable products and shipping things fast to get feedback is definitely a smart approach. It sounds like it took you a little bit to get a buy-in from VCs, but you got there. You were able to sell the vision. You got the investment. What are you would you say is kind of the biggest hurdle for people to recognize this one app mentality? Like what's the roadblocks that are in your way?
I think because there is a new way of functioning. See, if you look at typical organization, you have copywriters, you have social media planners, you have performance marketers. If you are like a decent sized company, or you're outsourcing that whole thing to some organization, people are not used to the fact that you can do things fast and like collaborate together in a seamless way. So when we started giving this product to users, the first reaction was, wow, can I do this? Can someone in my team can also do? So we decided the people are used to point solutions, like point products, like, oh, I want to create like this Instagram post, this is the app. I want to schedule, this is the another app. But when we said Simplified is simplifying your process. Simplified is you get more time back for things that matters for your business. So when we started giving it to more and more people, it was overwhelming response since we launched our public beta in July, like this year, July 15th. And more than 100,000 people already signed up for Simplified in last 2.5 months. and we are sprinting. We are just like sprinting, making sure that we deliver amazing experience.
Now there's other design products out there like Canva. That's one thing, but
Yeah.
you talked about you're very narrowed in on marketing versus just Canva could be used for anything.
So we love Canva. I mean, they are, even though they are our competitors, or like will be competitors. We are nobody. Canva is like a really massive company. We would love to compete someday. Um, I think what Canva did is phenomenal. Like they changed the way people design online. Because if you've seen like last pre-Canva days, 2010 before, or like last 5 years, these tools were accessible to only few people who are very, very skilled in their section. What Canva did is like they opened that, but now it's a design tool for horizontal stuff. Where we are taking is like, can we use more AI ML in the ecosystem and build more collaborative tool?
Hmm.
So our focus is more like, can we build it more collaborative tool which fits into your marketing stack?
Hmm. Some of the things, if I understand correctly, in the platform, you can create imagery. That's one big thing, right? Content for social media or ads, but also for writing content. And you've plugged into GPT-3 so people can help
Yep.
ideate of new content. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So today, using Simplified as a part of your marketing process, you can use our AI assistant. We call it as Loki. You can use AI assistant Loki for coming up with ideas. Then once you, and we already have a very deep relationship and partnership with OpenAI. So so you can generate like different ideas that that resonates with your brand, with your company, and it does really, really good job. Then you can use our AI designer, which we launched like this week. You just give like certain keywords and what you want, and Simplified is able to generate like even Instagram posts for you in like one click. In 30 seconds, you'll have like a gallery of 5, 6 posts, and you can pick and choose which one is more relevant to your audience.
What's this the post? What does it look like? Is it image and text on it? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, so the way it works is you come in and you say, I want to generate an Instagram quote. You give, let's say, I'm a let's say fitness club, motivational quotes for athletes. AI generates like certain quotes. You choose which one you resonates with, and also tell AI saying, hey, I want my images more like athletes or shoes or gym. And AI assembles, finds the right images, fonts, brand, everything, and generates 3 to 5, like collection of 3 to 5 Instagram posts for you. Then you have, it gives you probably boilerplate, which is ready 90 to 95%. Then you can just change colors or like maybe adjust certain parameters, put your logo, and you are done. So what
So
used to look like, yeah,
you try to it comes back to that root mission of speeding up that whole process.
exactly. And
Instead of you going to an assistant and saying, "Hey, I want to do something. Here's some ideas," and then going off and doing it. Now the
exactly,
assistant's an AI assistant.
correct. And we have seen very interesting use cases from our community. People not only created designs, we launched just for design, but now using simplified video, people are turning those posts into videos. So we already like with the influx of users and the request, their possibilities are endless. People are asking us to like create YouTube thumbnails to videos, Instagram reels, because it's no brainer. You know what exactly resonates, and AI is giving you on brand, really nice looking creatives. It saves them time. Imagine like I have motivational Mondays. You just come in, create those creatives, schedule for publishing. Then you come on, let's say Thursdays, where like customer testimonials. You rewrite them, you do nice thing, and then you have 5 posts ready. So that whole ecosystem is we are speeding up that whole
Mhm.
ecosystem.
The promise of AI and what it can do to speed up is wonderful. There's always the reality check as well. What are you seeing as some of the constraints that you're working against that maybe one day won't be there anymore, but are as a reality check?
Yeah, I think in general, video processing is getting like already way better, but I think there is still room for improvement. So that way you can have like much like larger videos, even created TikToks type, and telling even summarization problem is solved to a certain extent. But I think context aware AI needs a lot more effort. So just to train, make sure that, okay, what exactly this person is looking at and what the output. I think generic AI is still easy for general use cases. When you are, if you want to learn the lingo of that particular persona and create the content of, generate the content which resonates with their audience, is still a hard problem. And it takes investment, it takes a lot of data to just train those models and be prepared for that. I think best example of or like the more personal use example is like the smart replies of your Gmail. Like that's so unique and subtle. It adapts to your style because Google is already sitting on your all persona, all data, so they can predict those stuff. So I think those are hard problems. And the other important thing is keeping it simple. You don't, because the kind of audience we are dealing with, these are like small SMB mid marketers, agencies, freelancers, creators. How can we visually tell that story to those users? How can we make it simple so it feels like, yeah, it's part of my, it's part of my thing and I don't need to learn anything new. I think that's more than technology challenge. Visual challenge is bigger here. You don't want to give like a Swiss knife to your users and saying, okay, we can do everything. And here are the models, here are the levers, you can fine tune attribute, and people will be like, okay, what exactly I'm supposed to do with this?
I feel like you've taken the insight from all of your product design experience,
Yes,
previous ventures at Uber, at Facebook, and say, okay, that's the wisdom right there you just described. Building a product, you don't build a Swiss Army knife. You build it. Here's one specific use case for it.
absolutely.
Hmm. What is kind of on the roadmap for you coming up? What are you excited about? What can you share?
Yeah, I think simplified video is all, we already launched the first version of it. We are investing a lot more in that area. Also, by end of this month, there are two big products which we are launching. We build in public, so we love to build in public, engage with our community. So we are launching full AI writing assistant because SEO is big, and a lot of content marketers who use Simplified today, they write, because today's content process, the way it works is you use probably Word docs, Excel sheet, Notion, or something else for just creating content. Then you go somewhere to create your visual content, and then you go somewhere to publish that content, and then you share links in like Jira or like other places. I think we need to live. We are heading to a better future. We are heading to a simplified future where we can you do everything in like one platform, where so that's in as a part of our vision. We are enabling this AI full long form editor, so you will be able to generate like entire blog in less than 15 minutes with images, with videos, SEO ready. That's one product which we are really excited, which we'll launch it later, early this week or early next week. And the other thing is publishing. I think if the content is created and if it is still residing in your platform, it has no use. We want our users to be like the customers to publish that content flawlessly. And again, we are not. I was talking to our team yesterday, and the whole philosophy which we are following, and we are not rebuilding what companies built in 2011 in 2021. We are building it for future. We are looking at like next 10 years and saying like, okay, if we have to build like Hootsuite or Buffer or like other like these scheduling products, how can AI make it smarter? How can AI assist you while scheduling your content? How AI can help you in writing your content better? So those are like simplified video and simplified publishing are the two big things which we are currently working, and I'm really excited to unveil them fairly soon.
I could definitely see your passion as you describe this simplified future. How much did the domain cost you? Simplified.
So we still don't own simplified.com. Simplified.co. I have some friends over the years. That's the advantage of hustling for last 15 plus years and failing so many times that you know where to spend money and where not to spend money. So yeah, we got it at a decent price. Interestingly, our company official name is still TLDR Technologies.
Okay.
So it's like too long, don't redo it.
So, which is also that in the root of it
Exactly.
of the mission itself, and everything ties back to it. So you've got a mighty future and a small but excited team. 20 people, is that right?
Yeah, it's less than our engineering team is still like less than 10 people. We have and we are 100% remote. We are currently in Canada, Mexico, US, India, 100% remote team. We are having our first offsite, like first in-person offsite in Mexico by end of this year. Where we are flying everyone to just meet, because this company is founded during pandemic. We haven't seen each other. It's just like Zoom and building the hustling.
Did you already have these connections for these folks previously, or did you?
Yeah, some of them I knew because these are the engineers, friends I worked throughout the years, and some of them we just hired who reached out to us, expressed desire to because we at Simplified, there are a few things we don't compromise on. Like people is P0 at Simplified. So if our people, first employees, first are more than they are our partners. First 10 employees are like almost like co-founders. Then our customers, making sure that people, we give that human touch, because we buy products, like as a human, we buy product. So we say it like, hey, come for product, but stay for support and community and the experience.
I like that mentality. I like that mentality a lot. For you, I'm always, because we have a lot of leaders, business leaders that listen to this. What was the last constructive feedback you received that is helping you improve as a leader yourself?
I think I would say more than feedback is like, now I have two beautiful daughters. One is like 4 years and other is like 3 months. So being a lot more patient because it takes time. I think one of the best feedback, or like not direct feedback, but the kind of I follow a bunch of like really amazing leaders on Scott Beliski, who is a chief product officer at Adobe. He did something like you need to be ruthless with your execution, but be patient with your results.
Oh, ruthless with your execution, patience with the results.
Yeah, I think that's the and we are, if I mean, think about this, like, right, we as an industry also changing. Creators are new generation marketers, and CMOs are almost like that role of is blending into like chief creativity officer also, because if you have seen last, let's say, 18 months, more and more companies are hiring chief creative officers, because content is not seen as like a liability or expense. It's seen as like investment, as considering like number of people are coming online. So I think that's fundamental shift is happening.
There's a lot of wisdom there. If you're looking to simplify your marketing, you may want to check out simplified.co. And looks like you can sign up still for free and just be able to test it out and explore it, right?
Yeah, Simplified is free forever. So Anybody can sign up and use the product.
Product-led growth. I love it.
Absolutely.
To be able to
All right.
jump. Thank you again, Katie, for your time. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll see you all on the next episode of UpTech Report. Have you seen a company using AI, machine learning, or other technology to transform the way we live, work, and do business? Go to uptechreport.com and let us know.